And I'm Hannah, and we're designers at Cornerstone Remodeling in Maryland. We were inspired by Architectural Digest's designer Q&A videos, so we wanted to put our own spin on it and talk a little bit about how we incorporate clients' personality into our projects, as well as upgrades that are worth it or not, and then also talk about how to make your space more functional, maybe with a lot of changes or little changes.
How do you incorporate each client's personality into the design?
It's really important at Cornerstone that the space will feel like the client and not just like the designers. A big part of that is kind of picking up on clues from the initial appointment. The first time we go out, I like to look at their house, see what colors and styles they're drawn to, and kind of incorporate those in the initial design. And then after that, it's really just a collaboration every step of the way between the client and the designer. What can I do to figure out my style?
So that's really our job as your designer, to help you figure out your design style. Part of that is creating mood boards that help you really crack that code.
And with those mood boards, we generally like to add all of your fixtures, your cabinets that you selected, countertops, so you can really get an idea of what the space is going to look like before you even commit to it. That way you can make sure it is something that you like altogether before you see it installed in your home.
It's just a great visual tool.
How do I balance trendy design elements with long-term appeal? This is a question we get a lot. I like to say we use the base. So your cabinets, your countertops, your floors, even your paint and ceiling finishes. Those are the things that are more permanent, that you're committing to a lot more heavily, and are often the biggest numbers as far as price goes. Once we have that base, it's easy to add things like accent walls or fun tile or fixtures, or we call them the jewelry of the space, to really bring out things that are a little more trendy but are also easy to switch out. Cabinet hardware is another one. You can play with mixed metals, and sometimes I like to throw a little wild card in there with a fun pendant that you might not think of. It's an easy way to add something that might be a little more fun and keep things exciting and a little more personalized to you. How do I make an open concept space feel cozy?
A way that I like to do that is wooden elements or a non-traditional opening into a space, perhaps like an arched opening or just warmer tones in general.
I think this is where the furniture layout comes into play a lot. You can have different groupings, whether it's going to be a table with a rug under it and a chandelier, or a seating grouping with a rug and a coffee table. Those can really help to differentiate the areas for what they're going to be used for.
How can I make my home feel brighter?
I think if you keep the top line of sight lighter, having a lighter colored wall cabinets, things that are more in line of sight, that can help make the whole room feel lighter, even if you have darker base cabinets or wooden base cabinets.
Just to add to that, I think that reflective materials in general can really help. So even if you do have like a lighter wall cabinet, maybe adding like a glass front to that, or mirrors can definitely help with that too.
Another thing that we really focus on at Cornerstone is lights in general, whether that is overall lighting with our LED wafer lights or task lighting over islands, sinks, anywhere where there's a workspace, as well as accent lighting. So lighting in glass cabinets, under cabinet lighting, anywhere we feel needs a little extra help with that brightness, that can go a really long way.
What are some good colors for someone who's afraid of colors?
I personally am a green gal, and I never shy away from an earth tone. However, if you're unable to commit to a color in your permanent fixtures, I recommend possibly incorporating them into maybe like plants or your artwork too.
I also think that beige and tan tones are having a big moment right now. I love those as an alternative to just a stark white.
How do I remodel with a partner who has different taste?
This is something that we come across a lot. Definitely, we kind of play the role, I like to joke, of marriage counselor too, just while we're at it. It's really easy to have those moments where you're like, is this the hill I'm going to die on, with color of cabinets or the flooring or what type of countertop you choose. Our job is to make sure there's a compromise if that's necessary, while still incorporating the elements that each client wants. Some clients care a lot more than others. So it just depends on the dynamic and just how we can work together to get you the best final space for both of you. How to make the design process less overwhelming.
Something I strongly emphasize from the beginning when working with Cornerstone is the hand-holding aspect of it. Just feeling the support every step of the way, whether it be making your material selections, having a well thought out timeline. There's definitely just somebody with you every step of the way, your designer, your project manager, your project developer, etc.
And we always say we'll hold your hand as much or as little as you want us to. There's some clients who come who are seasoned veterans who've been through many remodels before, and they usually know pretty well what they want. While there's others who this might be their first time, and they kind of have no clue what their style even is. So we like to kind of meet people where they are.
We also like to take the selection process and break it down into bite-sized pieces. So we start with bigger items like your cabinets, your countertops, your tile, your flooring, and then get those figured out and solidified before we move you on to the next thing. This way, you have a really good idea of what those main elements will be, and we can build off of that, so we're not throwing every selection at you at once.
Thank you so much for watching. We hope that this gives you enough confidence and education to start your next remodel.